everyone. This is Joshua Jacob with Rhythm and Roads Podcast. We're here in Los Angeles with fashion wardrobe designer Warden Neal. He's worked with a lot of great celebrities. Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, Lucille Ball, and Carmen Electra. And one of my favorites, Carie Underwood.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Warden, for having me over.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like your story, how did you start into fashion designer?
Well, I actually started when I was 18, and I came to America from New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Immigrated. And I had a portfolio of sketches, of fashion design sketches that I'd put together from New Zealand. And although I was never trained as a designer, but I, as you know, am a big believer in God, and God gave me the talent, because I can't, I didn't go to school for it or any training for it, but I always used to watch the big costume epics like Cleopatra and
that's cool.
Big, movies, and I'd be able to, I'd go home to the family and they'd say, what was the movie about? But I couldn't really tell them what it was about, but I could tell them what everyone wore,
right?
That kind of thing. So I decided I had 2 weeks off from work, and I thought I'd come over with my portfolio and just sort of see how things are here, because as I said, I was 18. I didn't know anybody here, and believe it or not, I found a job within 2 weeks.
Wow, within 2 weeks?
At the
That's
studios,
cool.
at CVS Studios.
At CVS?
Yeah,
That's
for
cool.
a designer, he needed a sketch artist.
Oh, wow.
Because, there are designers that don't do their own sketches. Of course, I do my own, which is fortunate. But there are a lot of designers that don't actually do their own sketches.
Oh, wow.
I'll just give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for Michael Jackson,
oh, wow, that's nice.
This was one of my first designs solo.
Wow,
when
that's
I
awesome.
went out on my own, and I did the actual whole family, and these are some of the brothers, the Jackson 5, some of their military styles. That's
nice.
Michael there, and this is a couple of the brothers.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, these were auctioned off.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They were all auctioned.
Wow.
And
what was it like to work with the Jacksons?
Terrific. It was really a nice experience.
Yeah.
I was quite young, and they were very young, Janet was very young, and so was Michael. And but Michael, he had the talent and gift of costumes and, and choreography, anything creative. Yeah. He was, the one that they all went to. And so the producers tended to, at his young age, let him be the one that would, say what direction things to go in.
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
that kind of thing,
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's really awesome. So we're going to go back some time to your story and how you became a Christian, because you have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
So can you share that story?
Yes. It's one of these kind of things where I was going through a lot of stress. There is a lot of stress that goes with your job,
Right.
And I was doing several shows at the same time. And one of them was the Bob Hope specials.
Wow, Bob Hope?
That's awesome. Bob Hope special. And I'd come into a lot of stress, and I was given 2 medications for different things, for the stress, anxiety and stress. And one morning I was in a hurry to get to the studios, and by mistake I took 3 of the one that I should have taken 1 of. And I had an overreaction.
Oh, wow.
And I was driving to the studio to get to the Bob Hope special for their meeting, big meeting. And I remember I was at the top of this hill, Barham Hill, where the street sort of winds down towards NBC.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I passed out at the top of the hill.
Wow, you
this
passed
was
out?
this was from the reaction to the medication. And so miraculously, my car somehow was led down this windy hill by angels, God himself. And I was stopped at, I hit a pole. But the miraculous thing is too that I didn't hit anybody or hit another car or anything like that.
And here you survived that. That's incredible.
That is pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. Very overwhelming.
So God obviously has more in store for me, plans.
Right.
So, but I've been a believer now for quite a few years, and so I have a relationship with Jesus, and I feel like a lot of my decisions and things are actually led by God,
that's awesome.
Stuff like that, and dealing with some of the biggest stars, done quite a few groups. I did Three Dog Night in Chicago.
Oh, you did? I love
Chicago.
I like Three Dog Night.
Yeah, and then a lot of the sort of Motown type groups and stuff like that. I did the Pointer Sisters and and then went on to do sort of things for Carie Underwood.
You did? Special. Oh wow, you worked with Carie Underwood?
Yeah.
Nice, that's
Carie
cool.
Underwood.
Very cool.
And so
God has opened a lot of doors for you.
Yes.
And working with a lot of celebrities and people in the industry. That's awesome. Very awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so when you came to that point when you were in this accident, did that point of you just realize you needed God in your life, or what was that point of you?
Yes, actually, I think that was a major factor right there. Although, that was really definitely a major factor.
Yeah, that's incredible that He saved you from just from even hitting anyone. I mean, just you're still here, and that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That story just really inspires me.
Yeah, it's quite dramatic actually, because I did have some repercussions afterwards, like physically a little bit.
You did?
But I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything. It was just that I was really shook up. But as I said back then, you didn't need a seatbelt on, so I did hit the windshield.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I did. So that was a little bit of an issue. But as I said, miraculously, it was,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very, very awesome. And so from this point of view, starting in the industry of fashion, who was your first client that you worked with? If you can remember.
Yeah, the very first person I guess it was actually Michael.
Oh, it was Michael?
Yeah, it was Michael Jackson, yeah. And then from there, as I was saying to you, I did go on to the Bob Hope specials, and I got to design for big stars for that. Like Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh wow, Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. She was. To think that. To think I was inspired to come into this industry through Cleopatra, and she played Cleopatra.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was the lead in Cleopatra. She was about the biggest star of that era, in the 60s, 70s, and stuff.
Wow.
And then Lucille Ball, I Love Lucy.
Yes. I'm a big fan of I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with her?
That's awesome. I designed for her.
That's awesome.
And that was through actually Bob Hope specials.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Stuff like that.
Nice.
But you know, I did get to do movies as well, not just
really?
TV, but movies. And,
Which movie?
Well, I did the Tales from the Crypt movie for
Oh, I remember that
Universal.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
From Universal.
That was for Universal. And then there were a lot of independent movies I also did. And it was great, the ones that were period, because they were quite a challenge for me. You know?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I read on your bio that you worked on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes,
How was that?
the first.
Yeah.
I was the first designer for Dancing with the Stars.
You were the first designer?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And then how long were you with the show?
Well, actually, this is how it went down. I did the costumes, the first costume designer, and it was very, very stressful because it was the first season.
Oh, the first season.
And there were tons of, you know, costumes, as you can understand.
Right.
And they had a lady from Florida, and she did ballroom dancing costumes.
Oh, wow.
And so they teamed me up with her, and she did a situation where she manufactured the costumes in Florida.
Wow.
And they got to, you know, because they're very expensive,
Right.
you know, tons of beading,
Oh, yeah.
you know, ruffles and feathers and all of the,
Yeah.
you know, stuff you can imagine. And so they teamed us up, and she would build the costumes. I would do sketches here and fax them. You know,
Oh.
back then we did the faxing.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the computer, you know.
The fax.
Yeah,
I
we
remember
did
the fax.
The fax machine.
Yeah.
So I would fax off the sketches to her, and then she would duplicate it and
Oh, wow.
bring them in. She'd come in a day before for the show and do the fittings
Oh,
the day
wow, okay.
before, you know.
Yeah.
So she and I kind of teamed up together on that.
That's cool.
But what happened was the producer asked me to come back to do the next season because they already knew that they were really popular and they were going to come back. And I'd already been asked to go on to another show called Skating with Celebrities.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which was very similar to Dancing with the Stars,
Oh,
but
wow.
it was, you know, costumes with ice skates.
With
you
ice
know.
skates, yeah.
Yeah, and those were also very elaborate, and it was
Wow.
quite a stressful show, too. You know, it was very similar kind of situation where, you know, I had to design for all the professional skaters and then the celebrity skaters.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
so and you know, and some of them were kind of demanding, you know, because they've been catered to and, you know, doing things like the way they kind of saw it in their head. So I would sketch with them and,
That's
you know,
cool.
sketch it out.
Yeah.
And, you know, stuff like that.
That's amazing. And,
Yeah.
And how long were you with Dancing with the Stars?
The first season.
Just the first season?
Yeah,
alone?
the first
Okay.
season. And then I went straight on to Skating with Celebrities.
Okay.
And what happened was, although I'd been asked to come back to Dancing with the Stars, I couldn't because there was a conflict. They pushed up their skating day, their dancing dates, because it was so popular.
Wow. Okay.
They wanted to get it back on the air as soon as possible.
Oh, wow.
So they did a special dance-off thing, and I was still doing Skating with Celebrities.
Okay.
So
And how long did the Skating with Celebrities last?
Let's see. Actually, that one, it only lasted a season.
Oh, wow, just a season.
Because it was so expensive to produce.
Wow.
They had to build big ice skating rinks, 2 of them.
2 of them?
Two
Jeez.
huge, like Olympic size, almost
Yeah.
like Olympic size.
Wow.
And it was very expensive, but it didn't have the same kind of reaction with the fans as Dancing with the Stars.
It wasn't the same reaction?
Not in numbers.
Oh, I see. Right. The viewers.
Voting and the viewers, the
Wow, that's
viewership.
interesting.
So unfortunately, that didn't. But I went on to right after that, I had a couple of other movies and things like that.
Other offers.
Yeah. And then I'd also been doing Tales from the Crypt.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was hired for that for several seasons. Until
Right.
it ran its course. Where they brought me in, I think on the 2nd season, and then it ran its course, and I was doing season, and that was quite a challenge because we had a different director for each episode, and Bob Zemeckis was one of the directors.
Oh, Robert Zemeckis?
Yeah, Robert
Wow.
Zemeckis, and we had John Frankenheimer and quite a few big name directors. So that was.
Did you meet Robert Zemeckis?
Oh yeah, when you're costuming. Actually, Tom Hanks was one of the directors.
Tom Hanks was the director?
Yeah, he started it and was the director in it. But yeah, you have to have a one-on-one meeting with them all the time. Not just once, but quite a few.
Quite a few times. And how was Bob?
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, he lived in Santa Barbara, so the crew, we all went up there to do the very first meeting with him.
Really? At his place or where? At his place?
Yeah, at his place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Robert Zemeckis because of Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
So he directed that film and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And also Castaway and Forrest Gump, but that's amazing you got to meet him.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to, as I said, I got to direct with some, got to work with quite a few top directors,
That's awesome.
Warden being, Academy Award winner.
Wow.
That kind of thing,
That's awesome.
As far as I know, like John Frankenheimer and Robert Zemeckis,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Warden, I'd like to see more of your work.
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah. I also did a lot of Vegas things.
Oh, you did? Okay.
This is Anne Margaret.
Wow, Anne Margaret?
Yeah.
Nice.
This was for
That's beautiful.
Las Vegas.
Okay.
And
At which hotel or what? What show?
It was at the MGM, I believe.
Oh, at the MGM?
Yeah.
I like the MGM.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then this is from costumes from dances.
Oh, that is nice.
Was at Riviera
Wow.
Hotel, Las Vegas. And the name of the show was called Splash.
Splash? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the idea being, this is the vacuum formed piece that was made.
Wow.
But he's like a stingray kind of thing going through the water.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
he's on skates. Glides on skates.
Wow.
And his arms were out like this, so
that's amazing.
he didn't have much control.
I bet. Yeah, you limited him on quite a bit.
Yeah. And then I've done fun things like, these kind of
that's cool.
costumes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was called New Zoo Review.
New Zoo Review?
And these were like an owl and a hippopotamus, and they were little characters that people wore them,
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, they were made out of foam.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then dancers wore them and did the actions in them, yeah.
Okay.
And then this might give you an idea of like a little bit of, fashion things.
Wow,
Like
that's cool.
If you're given a fabric,
Uh-huh.
and then you design like a men's look and then a women's look in the fabric. This was a particular kind of fabric that was.
Yeah. I really like your shirt. That's a nice design.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Everything's nice. Yeah, that really stands out. I like that.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it gives you a little bit of a variety.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is like a wedding, collection.
God, that's beautiful.
A wedding.
Wow. Has there been any celebrities you worked with that use this?
Well, actually, I have designed weddings, but not really a celebrity.
Okay.
I mean, I've had, like Beverly Hills kind of clients, that kind of thing, that kind of design, couture, wedding.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful
wedding.
dress.
Thank you.
Wow.
I
So,
appreciate that.
yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So, anything more in the book that you might want to show? Because I know you showed me some Michael Jackson work.
Yeah, there's some more Michael Jackson things here. These ones here, these were for Michael and his brothers, and what they were kind of like jumpsuits.
Oh, jumpsuits.
Yeah, they were like jumpsuits, and they had these little vest jackets that went over top.
Okay.
And I think I've got a couple more. These are also my designs here.
Nice. Okay.
And
Now I have a question. The one behind the book, though, this one right here. Did you do that one?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, because I saw a performance of a Super Bowl back in
Yes.
'93, and he had that on.
Yes,
Yeah. And I was like,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good show.
Yeah, as I said, it was Michael's conception, about doing a military look. He came to me and he'd seen a picture in a magazine from the 1800s, period, and it was like a naval kind of uniform.
Yeah.
And he said, that he would like
Did you
something designed around the idea.
Did you see that performance from the Super Bowl from '93?
I think I did.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I just saw it the other day. Someone posted it, and it was really good. I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
I think I did.
he had exactly that same costume
Yeah.
on there.
I think I
That's
did
awesome.
see that, yeah.
So Warden, tell me about Lucille Ball, because I know you worked with her. How was her personality? Just because I love her shows.
She was wonderful.
Yeah.
She really, really was. I'm telling you something. Here she, I used to watch a show when I was in New Zealand as a kid, and who would have ever thought that one day I'd be designing for her,
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And she had the really tough voice, when she got older.
Okay.
She was like, she was a cigarette smoker.
Oh, that's right.
So she had the strong voice,
man.
very. So I kind of thought, oh wow, maybe it's going to be a tough one, but not at all.
No,
the
okay.
absolute opposite. She was just a dream.
That's
and
awesome.
we got along so well. And actually, she was very involved in her designs,
Oh, wow, okay.
So I would take the sketch pad over with me and
Nice.
sketch it out. And then on one of the designs, she had this great big diamond brooch thing.
Oh, wow.
And she said, let's design it around this brooch going up here. So I did, and this brooch, I don't know how many millions of dollars it must have cost.
Costed that much just for that?
I think so.
Wow, really? Okay.
Oh, it was huge.
Whoa.
Well, if it wasn't millions, it was hundreds.
Yeah, at least, but it was up there, yeah.
It was very big, and
That's
and
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, as we're coming to the end of this podcast, Warden, I want, there's a lot of people that are viewing this and they want to possibly have some inspiration of just if they want to do anything in the industry, either with fashion or film, but mostly fashion, because that's what you are very passionate about.
Right.
What advice can you give about just getting started in the fashion?
My advice is like, depending on what area you want to go in, if you want to do contemporary collections and stuff like that, I would suggest to go to the big department stores, depending on if it's, high line, if it's like Neiman Marcus or something like that.
Okay.
You know, and just look through the racks and the different designers and see how the designers usually have sort of their influence in the designs,
Okay.
and then get your influence and practice on that, and then, you know, maybe start out by being an assistant to a designer.
Okay.
Would be a really good way. There are a lot of young designers that are very, very talented that, you know, have already done the schooling, and they've done shows like Project Runway,
Oh,
you know,
really? Okay.
stuff like that.
I'm familiar with that show.
Yeah, so that is sort of like a great jumping board for them to launch their career, you know, on. But as I said, and I would practice sketching, you know, although nowadays they do have the different sort of forms online that you can pull up and just trace over top of them.
And practice
Which,
with it.
yeah,
Okay.
practice that way.
Yeah.
Which works still, you know, it
Okay.
still does the job. And then learn about your fabrics. It's very important what
Okay.
fabric does what, because that was a big one for me.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, it was a big one to learn what different fabrics do different things and stuff like
Oh, wow.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing the advice on that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
you're
interesting.
welcome.
Wow. Well, thank you guys for watching. This is Joshua Jacob with Rhythm and Roads. I gotta say, this is incredible how Warden worked with Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Lucille Ball. He's even met Robert Zemeckis from Back to the Future, the director of Back to the Future, from Castaway and Forrest Gump. I mean, he's met an incredible line of celebrities and directors and people in the industry. So it's just a pleasure to meet him and just get to know him. So thank you again, Warden, for
Thank you.
for letting me come. And yes, thank you, sir. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys. So we will catch you on the next episode. This is Joshua Jacob here in Los Angeles with Warden Neal.